Pets Who Thrive Radio with Tammy King.
Hello, I'm so glad you guys are joining us today. I have such an amazing guest today, and I'm really, really excited about her being able to share with us some of the benefits of this product that she's with. It is amazing. So Andrea, she is here. She's a dynamic leader in all natural health space, bringing over 20 years of experience in business development, strategic partnerships, and innovation focused on growth. As the head of sales at MYOS Animal Health since its inception nearly 7 years ago, and now the VP of Partnerships and Growth, she has been instrumental in expanding the division through global partnerships, product innovation, and sector diversification, including pioneering work in the search and rescue canine space. A subject matter expert in muscle health science, Andrea thrives on creating value through research-driven natural solutions. Her passion lies in building meaningful relationships, driving results, and helping both the animal and human health sectors flourish. So welcome, Andrea. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tammy. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So for those people who are new to MYOS or may not know much about it, first of all, tell us how did it get started?
So MYOS was founded about 16 years ago now, 16 plus years ago, by a scientist and some other scientists. And the main leading scientist was really into working out. He was in very good shape. And he knew how important muscle health was, especially as we age, because there's so much science behind it for overall longevity. So that's really how the idea came about. He would really thought, Rocky drinking the egg yolks, there was something about it. And as scientists, they got to bet together. And when fertilized egg yolk came to the picture, I'm not quite sure about that story. They started to do studies on that. And that's literally how the company was born. But it was all on the human side at first for the first 6-7 years of the company. It was human health with our muscle health. And they kind of fell into sports nutrition, and that area, as we know, has a plethora of products. It's very competitive. And then we fell into the animal health space, I like to say, by a fortunate accident about 7.5 years ago.
Okay. And the thing that is really unique about this product is it really focuses on muscle health. So talk to us a little bit about why is that a segment that tends to not be a focus as it relates to joint health and all of that?
I think people immediately jump to joint health because it's something that happens almost like that. You feel joint pain almost immediately. Or muscle decline it can be a silent part, it's just silent, if you will. It could just seem to take time, when thinking about it first and foremost is almost as more important than joint health, because muscles support the joints. The stronger muscles you have, the less wear and tear on those joints. And I think in 2025, you hear all over the place. I like to call myself a well-being junkie. I'm no expert by any means, but I follow a lot of people. And protein intake and muscle health really became the forefront, I think, in 2025 for sure. And that started to hear more about it. And the longevity term has been out there, as well as the health span term, which has now also been addressed within the animal health community.
Gotcha. What are some of the earliest signs of muscle loss or weakness that pet parents may see in their pets?
Definitely, energy has decreased, overall vitality, slower from getting up and doing things, maybe not being able to jump up on a bed anymore or a couch, not going as long walks, thinner hindquarters and shoulders, starting to see muscle wasting appear, sleeping more, and pretty much moving less.
Okay. Yeah. All things that as dogs age, we all see. And a lot of times we don't even think about muscle being the big part of it. We think about the joints.
Exactly. Muscle health is basically, I believe, it's been the missing link, but now you're really starting to hear about it more and more.
Absolutely. Yeah. How does the muscle loss impact their longevity and their state of mind and mobility, metabolism? What are you seeing there?
Well, muscle overall is a metabolic organ. So our muscles are going to help with our metabolism, our resilience, which is our strength, our mobility and overall longevity. So how can you just ignore muscle health? It's almost pretty amazing because what we do for humans, we can do for our pets. And that's the our all natural supplement, Fortetropin, that's what we call it, is because you always see humans, you're going to see in pets too. So it's amazing. It's almost like a 2-for-1.
Absolutely. Yes. And so many times we think of muscle loss just as being aging dogs. Do you see it in younger dogs as well?
Absolutely. Young dogs can have injury or surgery. Some dogs are born with a broken bone. One of our biggest KOLs in the company told me, hey, when I first introduced him to this product 6.5 years ago, he said, Andrea, he goes, I see no reason why a puppy could take this because some puppies are born with broken limbs. And I think it's safe because it's technically a food-based supplement, but we're in the supplement industry, so we're deemed a supplement. We're not technically supposed to say that. On the human side, we have a nutritional profile panel on the human product, yolk. But on the pet side, we don't. We have the ingredient Fortetropin, and the nutritional panel we send to our veterinarians on the side because the way FDA monitors the natural space, we're not allowed, quote unquote, to have it on the packaging, which seems kind of strange, but it is what it is.
And talking about Fortetropin, can you talk a little bit about the science behind that proprietary ingredient?
Yes. So Fortetropin, it's just the enzyme of the ingredient, and it consists of raw fertilized chicken egg yolk powder. And it's proprietary. We're the only one in the world who can do what we're doing. The supply chain itself is quite a conundrum, to say the least. To get these fertilized eggs, these eggs fertilized first off, and then you have to do to make it into a freeze-dried powder. We have about a dozen plus patents on this formula. 3 or 4 of them, I believe, are processing patents. The rest of the patents are how the science behind Fortetropin and what it can do. The U.S. Patent Office keeps recognizing it for its distinctiveness and effectiveness, which is pretty amazing. We're actually quite unusual in the supplement space to have so many studies, double-digit studies. I mean, what supplement companies ever do you know? They may have 2 or 3, or some even drugs may rest on their laurels with a couple studies. We have 14, and we still continue to do them as we move along with our growth here at MYOS in humans and in animals.
That is amazing. And I personally have some success stories with my own pack, and I'm going to be sharing those along the way too. But it makes sense why you would have so many studies because it works. So can you share?
I mean, it pretty much, to sum it up briefly, Fortetropin, when you take it, consume it consistently, will help building muscle, reduce muscle atrophy, and improve recovery. That's like your speech, so to speak.
So speaking of studies, what are some of the ones that have been behind this?
So our very first animal study was done in canines about 8 or 9 years ago at Kansas State University. It was a huge study. And it was dogs undergoing the famous knee injury, the famous TPLO surgery, right? They have CCL tear, some opt not to have it, some do the full TPLO. So there was 100 dogs, double-blind, placebo-controlled study, and 50 were on our Fortetropin and 50 were on our macronutrient cheese powder. What the study results showed is the dogs that took Fortetropin, they improved faster. They had a good gait stance. The other ones did too, but they avoided disuse muscle atrophy. And they lowered their serum myostatin levels. Now, we're going to get a little bit sciencey. I hope it's okay. You're going to nerd out for a little bit. But myostatin is a protein that exists in our bodies and our muscles and our bones. Believe it or not, it was only discovered about 30 years ago, which to me sounds amazing in the world of science today. We're in 2026, right? And its job is to put a brake on us making muscles. So it has a job. It's like a defense mechanism. If our muscles grow way too fast, too soon, our bones can break. It's not great for our limbs. There's even a disease with humans called Herculean disease. Those people do not have any myostatin in their muscles and their bones. They're short in stature and they're built like the Incredible Hulk. But guess what? They don't lead long lives. They don't have longevity. So it does serve a purpose. So what we're showing in our studies is the myostatin levels are staying at a low, stable level. Well, then the placebo group, their myostatin levels spiked. So they put the brakes on. They weren't able to build lean muscle. They weren't recovering faster, and they were getting atrophy. Well, our group were not. We're showing, because you don't just use atrophy. They weren't showing much atrophy at all. So they were recovering much faster.
Wow.
The thing about myostatin is, and we're different from protein. We're different. They work together. They work very well together. But taking Fortetropin, you can gain lean muscle mass without exercise. Protein can't do that.
No kidding. Yeah. Wow.
The baseline level after you eat after a certain X number of hours. But when you combine resistance exercise, yes, you're going to build lean muscle mass. The beauty and the secret behind Fortetropin is keeping the myostatin levels low. And believe me, we're studying more and more about my Fortetropin and the myostatin levels. And but like we did a study with people with sarcopenia ages 65 to 75. They didn't exercise when they were on the Fortetropin. They increased their muscle protein synthesis by over 18% without exercise.
Wow. That's amazing.
There's nothing out there that can do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And a very safe way. Not like there's drug companies out there trying to create, they're getting somewhere with a myostatin inhibitor, which totally just stops it. We're doing naturally, like any supplement out there on the market for dog or pets and, dogs, cats, horses, and humans. You need to take something consistently for 90 days to see results. There is no magic pill out there, right?
Right.
If there was, you'll be taking it, right? And there'd be no sickness, there'd be no cancer, there'd be no doctors.
Exactly.
That's the reality, right? People need to be patient. And the first 2 to 4 weeks, people see an improvement in their dog's energy, vitality. Maybe they're jumping up on that bed again or that couch. The same with the cat. Maybe a cat is jumping back up on a countertop where it doesn't belong. So you're setting your animal, your pet up for success when you start giving it, consistently. When it comes to seeing muscle gain, measuring it, feeling it, that's like your 8 to 12 week marker with consistency. And that's what our rehab professionals are seeing. We're an added modality as a component, a supplement component with rehab in that sector, because they're working with muscle every day. They're seeing it, they're feeling it, they're measuring it. So they are by far our biggest professional fan base.
Sure. Yeah, they see. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, and I've noticed so much in my own dogs. One in particular, she was a little rescue that came to us. She kind of has deformed legs, and so she was really skinny, and her legs were really short because they're deformed. And she wouldn't run, she wouldn't play. She kind of, felt yucky. I mean, she was she was being fed horrible food and everything. Well, anyway, so we got her and we started feeding her a raw diet, and then we added MYOS, and now you can actually see her muscles in her legs, and she stands up straight now. I mean, it's incredible. Like some of the things, and I have more success stories in my own pack and also from customers. But man, when we saw that, I was like, wow, this is no joke. This stuff really works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You have a company-wide meeting because we have the human sector, and our customer service manager always reads the best testimonial of the week. Side to all of us. Yes. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. What's a testimonial this week?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's great because you're making such a difference. So when you look at like the types of dogs that might benefit most from MYOS, what would you say?
I pretty much say every dog. So I have to give a shout out to the agility and the sporting dog world. Mm-hmm. I don't think they put us on the map. They were talking about us in Facebook groups about 6.5 years ago. We just launched the division. I was new to the company. I was doing both sectors, but ended up concentrating on this because we boomed during the pandemic. Everyone was a dog, right? And they were talking about us in Facebook groups, and we didn't know. Someone had to come and tell us. Mm-hmm. And they how dedicated, like they pay attention to their dogs. They own a lot of them. Mm-hmm. They will probably take care better of their own dogs than they do themselves.
Right.
They will spend any kind of money, keep them in the best tip-top shape. So, they're being proactive and preventative. Okay, you have the proactive crowd. Then you have the injured crowd. A dog or cat's been injured. they should immediately get on the product. It's going to help them improve faster. But then you have a dog that need to be operated on. There you go, pre and post-op. Don't wait until the operation. Start the dog on it right away, or the cat. You had your search and rescue canine working dog group. That community, we've really filtered that sector the past 4.5 years. It's actually a little pet project passion of mine. I just love to work with these handlers. I always tell them, your dogs are they're Olympic athletes. You've done great because they're going out and finding people, they're rescuing, they're dealing with government, search and, we at the airport, you see all those dogs. And some of them have really tough missions and they need to really, up their recovery. And that's what these handlers are seeing. And then I think I already mentioned rehab, but what about those sick patients, like a cat or dog with chronic kidney disease? They muscle waste like crazy. And we've been proven to be safe.
Yep.
And cat or dog with chronic kidney disease. So those are kind of like your 4 pillars, if you will. What types of dogs?
Yeah. Well, and I used to have agility dogs. So, and I didn't know anything about MYOS. This was, maybe even 10, 15 years ago. So it would have been great to have known about that at that time. Do you have any, like maybe a success story of a dog or, something that really stands out to you regarding MYOS?
Yes, we actually got a testimonial. I told you on Tuesdays. There was a man, Andrea reads a testimonial. So she read this to us in early January. It was brand new in the new year. So it really kicked us off. It's kind of long, so I'm going to try to shorten it as much as I can. But her name is, email address was Play with Penelope. So that was funny.
Oh.
They had been using it since October 2025. And she wants to talk about how life-changing the formula was to her. She had a great Pyrenees. She was adopted at 7 and obese at 130 pounds, and she's supposed to be 80, which is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Both eagled and snap tail and needed a double TPLO and had arthritis since she was 5 years old. They got her down to 80 pounds, which was great. Her goal was to get her to the age of 10. But in October, she started to stop eating. They found a mass, so on and so forth. She ended up needing a second surgery. And then that's when she started MYOS. So she's recovered from both surgeries and whatnot and is able to return to her previous activity. But y'all have blown me away. Let me describe the new dog now. Let's see. She now walks 3 to 5 miles per day and would do more if I let her. She runs.
Wow.
She runs. Properly runs. She is stronger physically, can now climb into a car. I was talking to you about dog hopping on the couch. That's it. She does not need to steps to get onto the couch. She currently waits to go on for a walk. She's on these little hops, but now the hops are jumps. I am blown away. She has never been so full of life, so active and so vibrant ever, even before her surgeries. She has cancer and she acts like a puppy. You had no idea about her legs being cooked. So I have no question this is due to MYOS. I also give her a green lip muscle separately. But I really think MYOS is the star here. Even my oncologist was blown away when he saw her. He said, you'd never know any of this was happening to her. So this is where we were like all crying. Your slogan is real. It really is more time together. And it's just not even time. It's real quality time. We go out walking on actual trails 5 times a week. Usually it was just every other day for like 20 minutes. But because of you, that time have seems to not only be on the path to being longer than it was, but so much more quality than I could ever imagine. Thanks for putting up with this long email and for making such an incredible product.
Wow. That is amazing.
I know.
I mean, that's yeah, I've got some of those same, I not so from, how I guess bad it was to such a completely new dog, but just some of those same things. I've seen it. It's crazy. So yeah, you've got to feel good about what you're doing and bring it to the market.
It's quite humbling to say the least. You just can't tire of it.
Of course. What do you find as far as MYOS kind of fitting alongside more of like a holistic lifestyle?
Yeah, our holistic pets are big supporters of ours. And we pretty much, it fits into any diet, whether it's raw, whether it's cooked. You definitely don't want to heat the powder though. because you will destroy the bioavailability of it. So people make hot food for their dogs and let it cool down really well before you apply the powder. So pretty much your whole food diets, lightly cooked, so on and so forth. So it's pretty much diet agnostic.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. And then you had mentioned in the testimonial a little bit about that customer had been using the green lip mussels. How do you see joint supplements kind of pairing with MYOS?
Well, the muscles and joints work synergistically, right? They work together. So we're such a great team. So we even have a product we launched about 5 years ago, an over-the-counter product of muscle and mobility. So we paired our science-backed Fortetropin with our science-backed green lip mussel. Can I tell you, in probably early 2025, we saw such a boom in that SKU that we developed a second size.
Oh, wow.
And people were asking us. And I just think and I've known about GLM for years, but I think the general consumers have really found out about it now, like your mass population. And that's why I think that's where you see the boom in GLM with joint support. So that's a great 2-in-1 product. So people are buying like separately.
Sure.
Made it 2-in-1. And we clinically dose the green lip mussel based on the science behind green lip mussel, which we do source from New Zealand.
That's awesome. What are some of the roles that you see in muscle health? How does it play in preventing injuries, supporting long-term structural health, all of that in dogs?
Well, because that goes back to muscle stabilizing the joints, and there's so much significant science behind overall longevity. Longevity is directly proportional to our muscle mass, and muscle mass is connected to a decrease in mortality. And strong muscles slow down the aging process. Applies to our pets as well. It applies to humans. So,
wow. Yeah.
Longevity and health span, pay attention to your muscles. At the end of the day, if you can't, we know our dog and cats and horses can't lift weights, right? Unless it's in your dreams or cartoons, right? It doesn't happen. So we like to say Fortetropin is that quality of life supplement. Keep your pet on it because it's going to help them sail into their senior years, keep them mobile and vital. And there's emails like that testimonial, where people are like, I had my dog or my cat longer because of your product. I mean, my dog was 16 when she passed. I mean, you all end up going over some kind of rainbow bridge, right? It's gonna happen. But setting your pet up for success at the end of the day, you're paying attention to your own muscles, pay attention to your pet's muscles. Of course, we'd love them to live forever. It's just not going to happen. But
exactly.
You want mobile and vital and have some energy as they're aging. Keeping them on that Fortetropin is going to work because I've been in this for 7.5 years. I've done trade shows. I have people come up to me and tell me, oh, my dog was muscle wasting, put on your product, it was great. And then I took it off and the muscle wasting came back. I said, yeah, because it's not consistently staying in the system.
Exactly.
If you want to go to maintenance dose after 6 or 9 months, you can go to a maintenance dose.
Yeah. And again, another testimonial that I have within my own pack is she was probably about 1.5 years, a rescue dog from the shelter, the SPCA. And she started limping really, really bad on one of her front right legs. Well, on her front right leg. And we took her to a specialist and he said, she's probably got some sort of autoimmune joint issues, something going on there. Maybe arthritis, just really couldn't get specific, but said, most likely that's what this is, especially with, the fact that she's so young. And we tried all sorts of supplements and we have access to a lot of supplements. And we'd see some that maybe got a little bit better and then, it'd come back and plus she's really active. She's a healer mix. And so she runs like crazy in the yard. And so after she would run, she'd come in and it was just this horrible limp. And then we found you guys and I started giving her MYOS. And just after a few weeks, she no longer has a limp. We haven't seen a limp from her ever since I started it. It's crazy. So I know this stuff works. Like something about that, she needed more help with her muscles to help with whatever that was going on.
That's such a great story, and it pretty much supports the load study that we did on the quality of life and mobility in geriatric dogs. And again, at Kansas State University, And all the pet parents' dogs were diagnosed with osteoarthritis, and you have to take a questionnaire 3 times during the study. Again, it was 90 days. And first at week 0, then, midway through, and then at the end. And it's asking questions. And what they need to observe in their dogs during the study is their mobility, their functionality, their energy, vitality. And it's 13 questions. There are 4 points each for a total of 52. So like golf, I play golf every time I go out. I want to get a better score than last time, hence also lowering my handicap. That's a good thing. That's what you strive for. The same with the load study. As they took these questionnaires, if the score goes down, say the first score is 50, the next one was 42, the next one was, 38. It means they saw better mobility in their pets while they're doing a study and on Fortetropin, or, it's double-blind placebo though. They're going to see better functionality, energy, and overall vitality. And it was a fantastic study. I mean, that group, the load scores went down, but the placebo group, they didn't change at all. So that's, your dog probably had arthritis, and it was a similar scenario. Like it just needed that muscle strengthening and building and having that muscle grow to support those joints so the limp would go away. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist.
Sure.
That's what it says to me when you share that testimonial.
Of course. I mean, it's just, but it's definitely, it supports everything that you guys do. And it also shows that she definitely needed that extra muscle support because now it's gone. It's crazy. So what are some of the things that excite you most kind of about looking ahead for muscle health for pets?
I think in general, I think people are realizing that muscle is recognized as being central to overall longevity and health spans, not just overall performance. And we believe in the past 7.5 years, we might be a small company, but let me tell you, I believe we're mighty. We are owned by a big animal health care company, but we've gotten the word out. We're saying little old company consisting of 15, 16 people. We got into the forefront in the veterinary community. Some people still come to us and we haven't heard of you before, but we're hearing great results from some of our coworkers and our patients. So they do their due diligence and they reach out. I love that. So we believe we brought it to the forefront so much that if you Google or AI, muscle loss wasting in dogs, best supplements, MYOS/Fortetropin is like the first thing to pop up. Now you're starting to see and hear about other muscle supplements that are coming out into the marketplace for pets. More power to them. We work differently. We work very uniquely. We're proprietary and patented our formula. What supplement company, again, do you know has 14 studies to back you up? And we're all natural. I think that's what people really like about the product line. There's only a few ingredients. Fortetropin stands for raw fertilized chicken egg yolk powder because we can't have the nutritional panel on there. So I think you are starting to see people, and thank you again, that agility crowd, that sporting dog map, our rehab and veterinary communities that are on board, and of course, our canine working dog community. Those handlers are seeing really great results. That's exciting.
That is exciting. If you could kind of just summarize maybe something that you wish that every pet parent knew regarding the benefits of having more muscle on their pet.
Basically, muscle loss is not inevitable. You take care of yourself, you take care of your pets. You're going to set, again, your dogs up, your pet dog and cats up for success by treating them right, giving them something that's all natural. The only sad thing about it is that that dog is allergic to eggs. I'm sorry, I assume that we can't win at all. We do get a lot of questions about chicken allergies, but it's different. Every dog and breed is going to be different when it comes to allergies, their sensitivity levels. So we always tell people titrate up and see how the dog does. But it's mainly an egg allergy that we're finding, not really the chicken allergy. But overall, we want them around forever. Of course, they're not going to, but you want to keep them mobile and vital and be able to go on those walks in their senior years.
Absolutely. Yes. And not just, survive, but really thrive. And that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So if someone wants to learn more about your products, what are where can they find you?
Well, our website is myospet.com. If anybody would like to nerd out and read our studies, under the About tab are all of our clinical studies, the human side too. We put all of our studies on the website. So they can find out more about us there.
Awesome. Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with the audience that highlights your amazing brand?
I just think the growth factor, we're growing internationally here at MYOS. We're already in a number of countries. My goal this year is to get in a lot of other countries to express interest in MYOS. It's pretty amazing how far wide we have gone since 7.5 years ago. And that's what I find most exciting with our growth and helping people who want to take care of our dogs. I mean, and a shout out to our rehab professionals. The rehab market within the veterinary community has boomed like no tomorrow. And they realize how important proper supplementation, proper exercise, proper weight maintenance. Like, we don't want a size dog any age to be obese or overweight, right? It's going to wear and tear on our limbs. That's not good. So, shout out to them. But overall, if you're taking care of yourself, also take care of your pet. Because again, you'd like to have them around forever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Andrea, this has been so enlightening. I do want to share one more little story, and that is about my dog, Stella. She's 14, and I started her on MYOS when she was 13. And she was slowing down. She's torn both of her ACLs several years ago, so she's got a lot of arthritis. And one of the things that she started doing is I have stairs that lead up to the bed. And so she sometimes would be like, I don't think I can do it. So I'd lift her up and put her on the bed. Well, then again, after a few weeks of MYOS, she was running up the stairs. And I thought, wow, she's doing it, and it was so cool. Cause even her, she'd turn around. She was so proud of herself, So it's just, I really hope that people, will take a good look at this product because it has been life-changing for not only my pack, but my employees' pack, customers. We hear things all the time about how their dog, couldn't even take a walk. It's kind of like that Great Pyrenees. Now they're just jumping in the car, they're running, it's crazy. I really hope people can give this a try because it's amazing.
Well, I know. Thank you so much for the testimonials. Again, we can't tire of them. We love hearing about them and your support. I know you have 14 in your brood, unless you've got more.
Yeah.
So that's just amazing to hear such wonderful stories. When we rescued our new dog, she's a year now that we've had her. We think she's 3 years old. She came up from Kentucky. She was in a shelter for only a week. And we found out she's a stray. And she's a full breed. We did embark. She's a Walker Coonhound.
Oh, wow.
Has noise phobia. But anyway, she was super skinny when we got her. And I immediately put her on the product. And she bulked up. But we were also feeding her too much food. We didn't know it. So have the food to a cup, in the morning, a cup at night. I got her on the product again. And now she's a perfect fit size. She's about 60, 61 pounds. And you could just see the muscle in her, which is great because she's a hunting dog. Maybe one day we'll be able to go for a long enough walk where she'll want to hunt. But right now it's
sure. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Little rescues. I love it that they get a really good chance. So that's awesome. Well, Andrea, thank you so much again. This has been so enlightening. I'm so glad I get to share with my audience about some of my favorite products, and this for sure is one of them. So
much. It means so much to us here at MYOS. We can appreciate your support more with what you do every single day, rescuing, and your storefront as well.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's all part of our passion for those animals.
Yeah. Well, this was fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. We'll see you soon.